Brian Rudy, representing Mayor Eric Adams, present.
Thomas Brown,
Good morning, President Patricia.
Anthony Giordano,
Present, representing Dr. Angela Green, chairperson of the PEP.
Allison Hirsch,
representing Controller Brad Rayburn.
David Kazansky. Present. Virginia Lee.
It's
Oh, Virginia. We used to have an employee named Virginia Lee. Victoria Lee.
Present.
All right, we have a quorum. I'll turn it over to the chair.
Good morning, everybody. First thing on the agenda, manager updates. We turn to Rokutan.
I'm sorry, were we going to start with the public?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong page. Yes, passport funds,
Okay.
Rokutan.
I will attempt to pull up the.
Thank you, Mike. Just for the record, we're doing the passport funds, May 2023 performance review.
Great.
For the return. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna just start off with a quick review of the passport funds through the end of May. The month of May, in terms of equity results was a bit mixed. So we did see US equities with positive results, non-US equities with negative results. In terms of US equities, we saw another strong month for growth-oriented funds, which were up around 4%, value-oriented funds down around 4%. So in terms of US equities, they were positive. You look at the Russell 3000 index, was up about 40 basis points for the month of May. On the fixed income side, we did see another Fed rate hike of another 25 basis points, but the Fed was signaling the likelihood of a pause in June, which did, as we know, occur. And we saw, as a result of that, US Treasury yields tick higher, which did hurt fixed income funds a little bit. So in terms of your results here for the diversified equity fund, down about 40 basis points for the month of May, although still certainly in positive territory, up over 8% year to date through the end of May. Certainly for the month, the US equity funds fared better than international equity, with your active managers up about 1%. For the balanced fund, was negative for the month, down around 70 basis points, which is impacted by both by some of the negative results in non-US equities, as well as negative results from the fixed income component. The international equity fund for the month was down about 3%, although was ahead of that international composite benchmark by about 40 basis points. The sustainable equity fund was your best performing option, was up about 4% for the month of May, and certainly benefited from the more growth-oriented environment during the month. And is also your strongest performer year to date, up 18%, although trailing that index, which was up over 20% year to date through May 31st. Both of your index funds, the US equity and international equity, are tracking their benchmarks as we would expect. And in terms of May, US equities fared better, as we said, than international. The international equity fund index was your worst performing fund on an absolute basis, down about 3.4%. Any questions on results?
Great, thank you. And that also is the, yeah, any comments about that day from Rokutan? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Any questions for Rokutan? Yeah, great. I think we
Excuse
need a
me,
motion
Tom,
to-
can you speak up a little bit?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Public. yeah, Steve, you don't have anything for public?
Never public.
Any questions? Great, so I entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Thank you, David. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Victoria. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? So we're now in executive session. Thank you. Great, we're back in public session. And I believe we have a readout from Ron Swingle.
Certainly.
Thank you, Ron.
In executive session of the pension fund, we received preliminary performance data. We received a presentation on an investment policy issue. Further presentation and discussion was laid over. We received a private equity presentation. Consensus was reached. We received a real estate presentation. Consensus was reached. And we received an alternative credit presentation in which consensus was reached.
Thank you, Ron. Any questions for Ron? Great. Do we hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you, Al. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Anthony. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned. Good.